Well, good morning guys and ladies. It's August 8th. This is my first time back out on the water since been stuck in the house for a few weeks fighting COVID. But it's a nice beautiful day today. It's hot. I'm gonna have to take it a little slow and careful today, but I'm gonna get out here on Lake Talquin today and we're gonna look around and I'm gonna see if I can show you guys how to catch a few of these crappie without using your LiveScope. So we're gonna go old school for a little while this morning. I have a new rod I want to try out today, so I may get on the LiveScope a little bit later this afternoon and see how it works. But hang with me and we're going to get out here on the lake and see if we can't find something interesting and see if we can get a fish to bite on this slick, calm, hot day, middle of August. So let's see what we can find. Alright guys, there you go. There's a nice water crappie right there. We're going to pitch a buoy right back there next to those. Alright, I threw a buoy out a little bit past the fish there, but if you look real close, you can see these fish right here. You can see them on my down scan. See them all on my down scan? So we're going to spin around. We're going to see if we can't catch a few of those old style without using the LiveScope. Just fishing around their buoy. So I threw my buoy a little late because I was trying to show you guys the fish, but hopefully it's close enough we can figure out about where they are. So hang with me while I get set up and I'll show you guys what we're going to do to try to catch these fish. Alright, my buoy's over here off the left side of my boat just a little ways. I have zero wind blowing, so I have no idea which way my boat's going to set up. But guys, I always try to approach where I'm going to be fishing from the downwind side. That keeps your boat from blowing up on the fish, keeps your bow pointed at the fish. But I'm going to just sit here and drift for just a second and see what the boat does, and I'm going to get out a couple of rods and show you guys how we're going to rig up and try to catch these fish. Hey guys, so the first thing we're going to do, I don't have any of my graphs on. I just know there's a school of crappie somewhere right up there, probably to the right hand side of that buoy that we saw on our side scan. So the first method I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 10-foot ACC crappie stick with 6-pound mono, and I have got a little crappie jig on here and just a plain old cork, just big enough to float the jig. I like for my cork to be small enough that when the jig is all the way down, the cork will stand straight up. That way when those fish come up and hit it, that cork will lay over flat and you know you got a bite, because they don't always pull it down when you're using a jig. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this cork and we're going to slide it down the line until it's about 10 feet deep. I think those fish were sitting closer to 14, but we're going to start out about 10 foot deep, and we're just going to gauge that by sliding it up the line and getting it up there about as long as the rod. Alright, so we did that. We got our cork sitting about 10 feet deep. Now we're just going to make some casts up there. And we're going to work this jig and we're going to see if we can get one of these fish to bite. Of course, we're fighting the heat of the summer trying to get them to bite, so that's not helping. But we'll see how long it takes. Guys, second cast, right in front of the boat. So there you go. Who says you need to have a LiveScope? Just need a good side scan unit on your dash where you can find the fish and you can catch them. Let's see if we can do that again. Of course, I got my line. I'll tangle it up around my rod tip. Fish are just right there. So guys, that fish that fish hit this bait. I don't know if you could see my cork when he hit it, but all I'm doing is pulling that cork towards me about 1.5 to 2 feet, and then letting it sink back until it stands straight back up. And when I did that, I saw that cork bounce and lay flat, and I set the hook. Because what's happening is that crappie, he's coming up from underneath that cork, and he's grabbing that jig as it's sinking. There was another one. And what happens is, instead of your cork having that same cadence of where it flattens out and slides towards you and then goes back and stands up, it slid back and bounced and laid flat, which means that crappie came up and took the weight off the end of it and was on it. That's one thing about fishing with a jig on a cork is they're not always going to pull your cork under. Matter of fact, they hardly ever pull your cork under. It's just a matter of watching that cork for it to twitch. When it's sinking, when you see it twitch, that's when he hit it. Usually it'll stop its forward progress as the jig sinks, and it'll lay flat on the water. Oh, there he was. So it looks like I've got the boat almost, oh, there he was again. So it looks like I've got the boat almost on top of the fish. So I didn't exactly get us positioned the most ideal spot, so I may have to, oh, there was one, just hit it right there. With this cork, you can really, oh, there he was, you can really see them hit it. So, you know, with that cork on there as an indicator, normally if you were just fishing, you probably wouldn't see those bites, you wouldn't feel those bites with your rod, because they're probably so subtle that you wouldn't notice it. But with that cork, you see, if they touch it at all, you'll see that cork do something different. So they're biting almost every cast. I have no wind out here, which is making it hard for me to position the boat for you guys. Hopefully we'll get a, oh, there he was, we'll get a little bit of breeze, and I can get it where the cork's out in front of the boat. But I have located the school. They're right here in front of me. So getting a bite now is not that difficult, but my hookup ratios hadn't been that great. There's one. Ooh, that feels like a good crappie. Alright, there you go, guys. Another one with a jig and no LiveScope. That's all there is to it. Alright guys, I got this boat repositioned a little bit. You can see the buoy right up here. The fish I was catching were actually over here to the left of it. So we're going to make some more casts over that way with this jig. And then I'm going to show you another method. We're going to see if we can catch them with another method. Should be pretty close to them. You guys, I don't know if you can see that cork out there or not. Oh, see one just hit it right again. Oh, he just hit it. Oh, there he is. I got him that time. There we go. Actually biting a lot better this morning than I thought they would be. There you go. I haven't caught a giant yet in this school, but hey, you know what? In the middle of the summer with as hot as blazes, anything's fun, right? It's just fun to catch them. Alright, let's see if we can catch them with... Alright guys, so here's the setup. A little ACC crappie stick. This is an 8-footer. I keep rigged up with a slip cork in the boat, so all I've got is just a little small offset hook. slip cord, a little bead, and I use 20-pound Dacron fly line backing. If you look real close, you can see I have that tied above that slip cork. So this rod is 8 feet long, so we're gonna have to guesstimate the depth here. So we're gonna hold this thing about 8 feet. I've got about a foot extra on that, puts it at 9 feet. So if I move that piece of string about 1 more foot, that should put us right about in that crappie school. So we'll slide this stop up just a little bit more. Alright, got us a nice fat minnow on there. You would think that wouldn't last long. Let's find out. One just nailed it, guys. Nailed it and spit it out. So we changed up the depth a little bit and got one to bite. But he didn't hold on to it, doesn't look like. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's on there. I don't know, that might not be a crappie, guys. Feeling like a catfish. Alright, so we thought we finally got a crappie to hit a live bait. Instead, we caught a big old catfish. So that could have a little bit to do with the fact that I deepened it up a little bit. I may have got it actually below the crappie. There you go. Man, so far, guys, you can see why I prefer just to use jigs, because now I have had to retie. I have had to clean slime off my line from a catfish, and I still have not caught a crappie. Let's check our depth one more time. So this is an 8-foot rod. I've got the tip. That's 8, 9, 10 feet. I've got it about 10 foot. All right, we're gonna try one more time with a minnow. Alright, this is the one now. We're gonna finally catch one on this minnow. Let's see. Uh-oh, good. Got one. Uh-oh. Can't tell. Oh, yes, sir. Look at there, guys. Finally got it done with a minnow. There you go. So, Alright guys, camera problems were driving me crazy. Every time I'd make a cast it would shut off on me, so I don't know if it was I got a bad connection to my power or if it's just so hot. It is just absolutely blazing hot out here guys, and almost no wind. So I stopped messing with that school of crappie, but as you saw guys, I was surprised. It was a lot harder to catch them with that minnow than it was with that jig. Now it could be just that particular school, and it could be that I caught them with the jig first, so they were already on to the gig before I picked up that minnow. But that's just a kind of a common occurrence when I come out here. I tend to be able to catch fish a little bit faster with a jig than I can with a minnow. Not to say that there's not going to be times when that is just the way to do it. I'm sure you can get it dialed in to where it's really effective, but as you saw, it wasn't happening on that school. So I'm gonna ease up the lake here and see if I can find excuse me guys, see if I can find another batch of fish. All right guys, well, you can see these fish. There's some right here and a little bit right here and a little bit right there. 3 schools of them. So I threw a buoy as I went by those, kind of quick like. There's a few more right there. We're gonna mark those. We're gonna make another pass by my buoy, see how close we got it to the fish. Let's see if I can show it to y'all as I come up on it. We'll see how I did with my buoy throwing. I kind of got all flustered and threw it a little late, but I suspect the fish will be just past the buoy, so we'll see when we ease up here. You guys, you can see that buoy coming up there. Alright, so there's the buoy. I don't know if y'all can see it right there. Let's see how close I got with it. Alright, so there's the buoy right off the right side of the boat. Look at there, almost threw it right on top of the fish. You see the fish right here. So I got it closer to them than I wanted it to be. If I look over here, these fish are probably sitting around 10 feet deep, I'd guess. So we're gonna do the same method we did earlier. No live scope, just a buoy and our side scan, down scan sonar. We're gonna circle around and see if we can get one to bite. Guys, it's 11:30, it's hot as blazes, there's no wind. I'm about out of breath, but let's see if we can catch a few. All right, let's see if we can get them to bite a jig. So I still got this jig set about 10 foot. It's about the length of my pole. Let's see if that's about right. Guys, first cast. There you go. No live scope. Oh, watch out. Got me hooked. Oh, come on, Mr. Crappie. Come on. I'll let you go if you be still. There we go. No live scope. Just a good bottom machine to find the school. And a crappie jig under a fixed cork with a 10-foot rod so you can cast it. was. Missed him. Did it again. There he is. Got him that time. Nice crappie. Oh, that's a pretty one there. Oh. Nice crappie there. Summertime crappie. Heat of the summer, August 8th, hot as blazes out here. No wind, slick calm, middle of the day. Still catching them. Alright guys, let's see if the minnows are gonna work on this one. Alright. Right by the buoy, right where the school was. Let's see if I get a bite this time. Come on, crappie, eat that minnow. Minnows trying to get away from them. Oh, come on, wait a minute. Wait a minute, we had a bump. Oh, come on now, really? Alright, now we got one, There we go. Uh-oh, doesn't feel like a crappie. Oh yeah, it is. There we go. Two methods right there, guys, catching them. A pretty little Lake Talquin crappie, not a monster, but nice eating size crappie. So, you know, that fish ate that bait, and he didn't take it down. He just sat there with it. So I'm thinking maybe I need to shallow up a little bit. Let's do that. Let's see if that helps. Let's try another minute. Alright, sorry about the boat angle, guys. The buoy's over here to my left. We're going to put another live minnow hooked in the tail right in that school of crappie. Alright, so we're a foot shallower this time. Let's see if that gets a better result. Nothing so far. Come on, Mr. Crappie. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Nope. But guys, that minnow was sitting right in that school of crappie, and there must be 100 crappie down there. I got nothing. I'm sure if he sits there long enough, I want to lead him though. There he goes. Uh-oh, he hit him. He hit him. He bit him. Let him go. You know, that's the other thing I'm finding a little surprising about this live bait. Oh, there he is. He hit it pretty hard that time. I got him. That's the other thing. They tend to, they don't hold on to this minnow as good as you think they would. But guys, in the heat of the summer, with no LiveScope, it does work. So there you go, another nice Talquin crappie in the middle of the day in the blazing heat with no wind in the summertime, with no LiveScope. So see guys, that LiveScope is a tool, and it's fun, it's addictive to play with, but don't think that just because you see guys buying these LiveScope, catching crappie like crazy, that you can't get out here and catch them just as good with just a simple fish finder. Now you need to get a decent fish finder. Let's not say simple. You need to invest in a fish finder on your dash that you can actually see the fish with, so you can find the schools of crappie. But once you find those schools of crappie, there's a lot of different ways to catch them. Now I have played around with these with my jig on a long pole and a cork rod, and I have caught some with a slip cork, and I have bought a brand new Lew's speed stick crappie jigging rod, 10-footer, and I want to try it out. And I want to try it out with my LiveScope and see rod. This is Wally Marshall speed stick. This is the 10-footer in a light action, moderate. Action's moderate, actually. Power's light. So I love Lew's, and this seems to be a super light rod, and I ordered one, and I'm going to try it out. And I'm going to turn on my LiveScope here and see how light this is a LiveScope jigging rod. See if I can get one of these fish to bite. I came after it, but I didn't catch one. There he is. Nice crappie there. I think that's the biggest one so far. I'll tell you what guys, nice rod, nice and limber. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't know if you can tell, probably can't tell with the editing, but my camera keeps shutting off every couple minutes because it's just so hot out here. It's no wind and it's just heating up to the point it can't run. So I'm gonna wrap this up guys. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you learned something today. And next time I get back out here on the water, we're gonna see if we can get you some more good LiveScope footage probably, and definitely some more time on the fish finder. I'm gonna make my way back toward the boat ramp, so hopefully between here and there we may find another school of crappie and get to see a little bit on the side scan. But I got to get moving around. It is hot. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.